More than 9,000 children have been abandoned, orphaned, or lost a parent to the coronavirus pandemic. These figures have been released by the National Commission of Protection of Child Rights. And these are just official figures, which means a lot of such cases and incidents have not been reported or identified, and the actual casualties are much higher than the official figures. These figures were submitted by different states till 29th of May. The coronavirus pandemic has undoubtedly turned into a nightmare for children and left them devastated. Maharashtra, the worst hit state by the pandemic, says that more than 4,000 children have lost one of their parents due to the pandemic and 140 children have lost both parents. Let's take a look at other states. More than 2,000 in Uttar Pradesh, over 1,300 children in Bihar, 952 in Kerala, and over 700 in Madhya Pradesh. The Supreme Court has asked state governments to continue uploading the data on NCPCR's website Bal Swaraj till June 7th and give details of children affected by the ongoing health crisis. Now, Bal Swaraj is a portal which is being used to collect data of such children who have been affected during the pandemic. The Supreme Court has been hearing an application in a pending case on the spread of COVID-19 in children homes, highlighting the struggles faced by kids and children who've been orphaned during the pandemic. The NCPCR's affidavit says that considering the surge of COVID-19 and the increasing number of deaths, it is important that additional efforts are made to ensure that the rights of children are protected. The petition says that the first step is to identify the child in need and then develop a mechanism for tracking each and every child who's been orphaned or has lost a parent to COVID-19 and may not have any financial support. Therefore, every such child affected by the coronavirus pandemic and without family support must be produced before the concerned authorities. Now that we know the situation, what is it that we can do to help children? Well, to begin with, it is very, very crucial to be responsible. A lot of people on social media platforms and elsewhere want to help these children, and this has led to a growing conversation around adoption. But remember, when we talk about adoption, it comes with the threat of child trafficking. The child might face exploitation, trafficking, and abuse. Many social media platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp are flooded with messages encouraging people to adopt children who've been orphaned during the coronavirus pandemic. But upon investigation, it was found out that many of these messages were false and fake. In many cases, people appealing through these social media messages were trying to sell the child to somebody else. And it is for this very reason that the direct method of adoption or without the involvement and intervention of any concerned authorities has been made illegal in India. The Central Adoption Resource Authority, a statutory body under the Ministry of Women and Child Development, is responsible for looking into adoptions across the country. The body has laid down extensive guidelines that govern the process of adoption in India. These guidelines clearly mention that any child adoption without following the due process mentioned in the guidelines is illegal adoption. Even if a child is handed over by the police, it is illegal. If they tell you they have found a child somewhere and ask you to take him or her home, it is still illegal. So the next time you come across posts encouraging people to adopt children, stop them. If you come across a child who you suspect has been orphaned or abandoned, you should call Childline at 1098. Now, this is a nationwide emergency contact number that is in collaboration with the Women and Child Development Ministry. It is a 24-hour toll-free helpline number operated by Childline India Foundation, a non-government organization that works for children in distress. You can also directly contact local or district child welfare committees or inform the local police station. If you want to help the child, do it responsibly. Helping any child in distress should be in the best interest of the child. Recently, the government announced some measures to support children who've lost both of their parents amid the devastating outbreak of coronavirus. Under the PM Cares for Children scheme, the central government has announced 10 lakh rupees fund, free education, insurance cover and other benefits for the orphans to support them during their adulthood. Announcing the measures, PM Modi said that the children represent the future of the country and that the government will do anything and everything to support and protect the children. Various state governments have also announced initiatives to assist children. But is financial aid enough to ensure a secured future for children? Well, several childcare institutions, child protection agencies, and activists are of the opinion that promise of financial assistance alone will not ensure the well-being of children affected by the pandemic. In many cases, benefits from social welfare schemes never reach the beneficiaries because they are unaware of their eligibility or cannot manage the complicated and long tedious procedures or the documentation needed to get the aid. Many of these eligible people or children for such benefits have shared their experiences of running from pillar to post to submit an endless list of documents. Activists believe children in orphanages are often forgotten when it comes to government support and development initiatives. There are nearly 370,000 children in more than 9,000 orphanages across the country, but the number of adoptions still very low. It is also important to note that many children are also in need of counseling to address trauma and grief. As I said, this virus has emerged as a child rights crisis, and if we want to help them, we have to be careful and responsible.